All right, we are back. Robin in California, your point is well taken. I have told people, look, I run mental scenarios through my head. I'm laying in bed at night. I hear strange noises. I envision myself reaching for the 12-gauge pump, which is loaded with flechettes, just in case the criminal breaking into place has got a bulletproof vest on. I know where the gun is. I can feel the thing. I am cocking it. I am moving toward the target, and I am firing. I mean, a lot of people don't see themselves in a scenario where they're actually using a firearm or what's going to trigger that response for self-defense. And we have this innate, this thing within inside us. It's either fight or flight. You either run or you fight. But how you're going to fight and how you're going to present yourself to that danger to get yourself out of it is the important key. And I'm in agreement with you, Robin. Not a whole lot of people have thought about it. They think, well, geez, if I just buy a gun and I go to the range and I know how to shoot it, I'm going to be okay. No.
Yeah, one of the things that they were pointing out, which was very interesting, was that when you're under that critical time, your peripheral vision goes almost like basically to tunnel vision.
Uh-huh.
And one of the people in there, when he got up to shoot, he didn't even see the other student running in front of him, who he probably would have shot.
Yeah.
Didn't see that. And the other thing that was interesting is they said that the blood in your hands actually goes to the rest of your body because the adrenaline and the heartbeat and everything.
Right.
So you literally don't have the mobility in your hands because it's the flight or fight response, meaning your legs are ready, the blood's going to your legs, you got to run. So there was some very good stuff in there, and including one of the policemen that was on there said they have to practice all the time. They say a month of not practicing, you lose it. Mm-hmm. You lose it. Yeah. So I thought it was a really good show, and I just wanted to kind of point that out.
Well, and I was thinking as you were relaying that story, even Penn and Teller on Showtime, and the name of their show is Bull, capital S with a hit. I can't say that. Billy Bob can't say that word on air. But at any rate, they did a thing on the Second Amendment, and it was more than positive. So there is a large crowd of right-wing extremists in this country, and I don't put Penn and Teller in there for sure, or the producers of 2020. But there are a lot of people that understand the Second Amendment, the firearms use, and what it's made for. But I would encourage people that if you do not take combat training skill, and this is available through organizations like Front Sight, that it deals with the psychological ramifications as well as the physical, okay, how to be calm, how to slow your breathing, how to keep that adrenaline rush down. And what you mentioned was kind of like target fixation. It's what fighter pilots experience, that they'll just focus so much on a target, they'll auger their plane right into a ground going after a target. They lose the sense of their surroundings, and they just know one thing: get the bad guy. And whether it's a person running in front of your gun as you're firing it, or you're augering into the ground going after the enemy, the winged enemy, doesn't matter. It's the same psychological response. Robin, thank you for that Second Amendment deal. Clint, Richard, Henry, Howard, and others will get to all of your calls in rapid succession after this break. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, second hour of the special edition of the National Intel Report on Tuesday. And that's right, if you're just joining us, you just missed the first hour. With me, Robert Chapman of the International Forecaster, Robbie Noel, which does a program on this network. He does a 1-hour show Monday through Friday called The Flip Side, and that is 6 to 7 p.m., as previously stated, Monday through Friday. Let's continue with the calls here. Clint in Texas. Hello, Clint.
Yes, guys, good afternoon.
Hi.
Two things here. One, I'm very concerned about Homeland Security being very upset, particularly about our military vets that are returning from over there in the Middle East, that they're worried about them. And I wonder if that might not be part of that issue, may be the fact that Oath Keepers has gone viral over there in the Middle East with our soldiers.
Okay.
And the other thing that I would recommend doing is joining up and shooting IPSC type competition. There's one person shooting and there's 20 people watching and critiquing everything. And if anything can go wrong, it will, believe me, and it did when I first started. But after you've been doing it for a while, it gets to where it's second nature, and you don't make mistakes.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, that you not make mistakes.
Mistake with a firearm can cost an innocent person their lives or your life.
Yeah, but it's a whole different thing to point a gun at another human being with the intent to kill. It changes the whole dynamic. Why do you think so many vets are committing suicide? I mean, it's a burden. It's a burden you live with the rest of your life.
All right, Clint.
I've been in that situation.
Yeah. Well.
And the only thing that I can say is I wish I'd been more accurate. But I shot 4 people in a home invasion. They were armed. I was armed. And all of the things you've been talking about, I went through all that. And like the gentleman says, you practice so it's second nature, and that's what it was for me. My only problem is the first weapon I had, I ran out of ammo. And fortunately, my son threw me another one, and by the time I was through, I fired 35 rounds. And, of course, the police didn't arrive. They were called, but they didn't want to get in the middle of a gunfight.
They show up after rigor mortis starts to set in.
That's right. And that was in Malibu.
Yeah.
And they lost, I won, because I'd been trained.
Yeah, I highly, we've turned this into the gun show here. Okay.
Well, you know, the question comes up, and it's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
And, you know, people don't want to have to do those things, but you got to do what you got to do. I mean, these are bad people. And they were on drugs besides, which made it worse. You know, you shoot them, they don't feel it. And it's one of the reasons the only pistols I have now are 45s and 357s.
Gun control means hitting what you're shooting at. But you got to make sure that your target is the justifiable target. And I've got no problem. I would have no psychological ramifications on dropping a criminal. I would, if the mess wasn't too great and the police and the coroner's office were efficient, I'd go back to bed. Sound kind of cold? Not really, folks. Psychologically prepared. We'll be right back.